Hi everybody and welcome to the kitchen. I'm Chef Bryan, cooking fresh with Green Giant. Today I'm going to show you how to do a great Norwegian flatbread, or lefsa. To make lefsa, you need a few basic ingredients. I have some mashed potatoes, flour, cream, a little bit of salt, and sugar. So let's get started. Lefsa is a great Norwegian flatbread. Now traditionally you would peel and rice your potatoes when you're making it. However, I'm using the Klondike Gold Dust and the skin is very thin on this, so I've left it right on and it has that beautiful yellow creamy fleshy inside. So I've simply just mashed them up with a little bit of butter here. I'm going to add them right into this bowl. And to the bowl we're just going to add some really basic ingredients. For a little moisture, I'm going to add some cream, a little bit of sugar to sweeten it up, a little pinch of salt, and some flour. And this is all the dough consists of, and I'm just simply going to mix this all together. Now I do have some additional flour here that I'm going to use to roll out the dough on the countertop. I like to just mix it right in the pan itself. If you're like me, you don't like to do a lot of dishes, so just use the same pan. When it comes to a point where it starts coming together, what you can do is simply put down the spoon and use your hand to bring it all together. And you want to knead this much like you would bread dough until it comes together into a smooth dough. So you'll want to continue kneading this until it pulls together into a soft dough mass. Once it has, you can simply remove it from the bowl and put it onto your countertop. We're going to divide this into some even pieces, and to do that what I like to do is just simply roll it into a log, and then this way I can cut it into even pieces. I'm just going to use my spatula to do that. And traditionally, there's a few pieces of equipment that you may want to use if you're making traditional Norwegian flatbread or lefsa. One of them is you have a long lefsa stick, and it's a very long wooden stick that they use to pick it up and transfer it to the skillet. I'm simply using an offset spatula because most likely you're going to have one of these at home or a better access at the store to pick one of these up. Also, I'm just using a regular pancake skillet, which most of you are going to have at your house as well. You can buy Lefsa skillets depending on where you live, but they're rather expensive and really aren't that necessary. So once you get this divided into the pieces that you want to, depending on how large or small you want your flatbread to turn out, really determines on how large or small you want the portions. So these right here, I'm just going to kind of push together into a ball, send them over here to the side so that we can flour our work surface, and we're going to use these to roll out and finish up our flatbread. Now some of these pieces are fairly large, like this one for what I'm working with today, so let's go ahead and just cut those in half. Be sure that you have lots of flour to work with because the dough can get rather sticky and you're going to be rolling it out fairly thin. So just sprinkle your work surface with several handfuls of flour on there. Also, I'm just going to use a regular household rolling pin, because there are rolling pins you can buy for lefsa that have grooves in them or different designs on them. They're cool to use and a lot of fun, but they really aren't necessary. So just use what you have at home already. I have my piece here. I'm going to make sure it's coated nicely in flour. I'm going to pat it out much like you would a hamburger patty to start it. And just put it right down onto the flour. Make sure if you have an edge, for example, like this, that is splitting out, you want to seal that back together best that you can. Otherwise, your edges of the lefsa are going to be cracked. Take your rolling pin, and when you roll, start from the center and push out. Don't press down hard on the rolling pin because this is going to give you an uneven rolling. So from the center out to the edge, and change directions frequently so that you can get a nice round lefsa piece. Be sure to roll it in the flour frequently. If needed, turn it over so that you have a nice floured surface. Once you get the lefsa completely rolled out, you'll notice that it's fairly thin and fragile. So this is where I'm going to use the offset spatula to actually transfer it to my hot frying pan here, or griddle. Make sure it's hot to about 400 degrees, and then you're going to stick that offset spatula underneath. If it's sticking at all, very carefully go around it to release it from the countertop. What I like to do is just slip it under and let it drape right over the offset spatula. This is how I'm going to transfer it now to the skillet. Start with the edge down and just let it fall right over on top. You may run into some lefsa bread that's very large, and that's why they have the long lefsa stick to work with it. You don't have to worry about that at home. Just make it so that it fits on the skillet you have at home. We're going to watch this, and what you're looking for is, you can see there's some nice browning on it. That's when you're going to turn it over. There we go. And we're going to let it brown up on the other side now. The lefsa is ready to remove from the skillet. You can tell when it's ready when the other side is brown like the first side. Now, I've made several here already, and what I'm doing in between these cloths is steaming them. To steam them, what is happening is you're actually softening them up so they'll wrap around like food items that you're going to put into them. But what I wanted to show you, another little tip with the pastry brush, you can actually take it and brush the skillet off of all of that excess flour. Now when you do this, be sure that you're using either a natural haired bristle or a bristle to where the hairs on it won't melt on the hot skillet. So be aware of that. So just simply brush that off. You don't want the burned flour on there to like transfer to the next lefsa. It kind of give it an odd flavor. So we're ready to eat. I'm going to actually fold these into some triangles there just for presentation. And over here I have some wonderful condiments for them. This is what I remember as a child eating on them. Some smoked salmon there with dill. There's some goat cheese, a little bit of Carlsberg as well. You can actually put a little bit of butter, sugar, cinnamon on them if you'd like to. It's really up to you. Use your imagination, whatever you have at home, cold cuts, and make a great sandwich using some Norwegian flatbread. I'm Chef Bryan, cooking fresh with Green Giant. I look forward to sharing more Green Giant family recipes with you in the future. I'll see you all next time.